Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be if I leave tonight?
Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is a community tag from the budget community, and this tag was from D versus Debt. So hi, how are you doing? And I'm going to go ahead and answer the 10 questions that were on the challenge, and it'll be a way for you maybe to get to know me or find out something about me that you didn't know, because I am very much there's a part of me that's a great budgeter, and there's another part of me that's totally a free spirit. So you're gonna find this out during these question and answers. So the first question was, what was your last large purchase and do you regret it? So my last large purchase was on September 7th, and we bought a car. And we have been saving for 10 months to buy a car. So the agreement that my husband and I had was I would save half and he would save half. And so we've been shopping for a car for literally 10 months and just putting money away and things like that. So a little bit of backstory. For 27 years, I had a company car, and it was, you know, either an Impala, my last one was an Equinox. And I'm not really a car person. I enjoy a car that starts, goes, doesn't require a lot of maintenance, that I feel safe in, and pretty much that's my requirement for a car, a vehicle. And my husband is very much a car guy. So he's into the bells and whistles and all the different add-ins and the technologies and gas mileage, all that stuff. So he drives, when he retired from law enforcement, he bought a BMW 5 Series used, and then promptly started working from home and really put very few miles on it. I was very nervous to drive that car. So when I lost my company car and my daughter moved out, I either had to drive his BMW or I had to drive the truck. We have a Toyota Tundra 2006 that has almost 200,000 miles on it, and I was much more comfortable driving the BMW than the truck. So I fell in love. And so I wanted an SUV, but I wanted, you know, I love the BMW too. So we looked at so many different ones. The Honda Pilot, the Acura, the Lexus, and we kept coming back to the BMW. So we have been looking for 3 months to buy a used X3, like a 2018, 2019 that had the package that he wanted, and we couldn't find it. Used cars right now are holding their value amazingly. People just aren't, you know, buying new cars. So there was not a car that we could find. So fast forward to I was at the BMW dealership with the 5 Series car. It went in for routine maintenance, and while I was there, I asked if I could drive the X3, fell in love, and we ended up buying a 2022 BMW X3. We have never, I don't think ever, in the history of our marriage, and we've been married almost 35 years, bought a new car. We've always bought a used car. We always feel like it's a better deal, better value. And the car, you know, we looked online and they had a car coming in that was everything we wanted, the color, the package, and the price was $3,000 more than the used car. So we went for it. So we did pay cash, so we don't have a car payment, and I don't regret it at all. I love this car, and it's gonna last me a long time. Second question, what sinking fund are you the most excited to fully fund, and why? I have a lot of sinking funds. If you have not watched my channel, you probably don't know that. I love sinking funds. So for years, I was a spender, not a saver. I really was challenged to even save the first $1,000 when we started this program, kind of the Dave Ramsey program, and then we've kind of personalized the program throughout the years. So I struggled. You can just say, my husband's always been a great saver, I have not been. So I started with little baby funds, like the $1,000 sinking fund, and then I started a Christmas fund, and then a birthday fund, and it's just grown from there. I think the one that I'm the most excited about this year is my Christmas fund, because this year I kind of took it up to another level where it was not just Christmas gifts, but Christmas Day food, activities around the holiday, arts and crafts around the holiday, decor, stockings, you know, and then I broke down the gift category even to my immediate family, my extended family, my nieces and nephews' kids, you know, friends, you know, and neighbors. So this year I feel like it's the best budget I've ever had for Christmas. I don't feel like there's any chance I'm going to go over, because I think I planned for all of the things I really do during Christmas versus just putting it into one fund and then being surprised when I go to pull $200 out for food that $200 came out of what was supposed to be for gifts. So I will say Christmas, and that is why. Question number 3, who has been the most influential YouTuber for you while on your budgeting journey? There's actually been a lot. I obsessively watch budgeting videos. Like, I have YouTube on almost every day, all day long. And if I'm not watching budgeting videos, I'm watching planning videos or Cricut videos. So the first budgeter that I can remember, there's actually 2. When I very first started watching these and even thought about A, having an Etsy shop, and 2, being on YouTube, I watched Lisa Nicole Budgets. And she still has a channel, but she no longer budgets. She got married and she doesn't feel comfortable with talking about her husband's income, so she does more home goods and, you know, thrifting and things like that. But Alyssa Nicole Budgets was one, and the second one is Sarah Marie. And Sarah Marie has an amazing shop. I think the first budget stickers that I bought were from her and Caffeinated Kate when I was thinking of setting up a planner, kind of working off of, you know, more of a decorative budget, you know, budget planner. And both of them I still watch today. But I think Sarah Marie and my style are very similar. You know, she's very methodical in the way she budgets. She accounts for everything. She tracks transactions, and that's really has always been my budgeting style too. So I would say those 2 probably the most. But I will say there's some really amazing budgeters out there that I enjoy their channels a lot, because we're all at different stages in our life. We all have different budgeting focuses, and I've always said that a budget is so personal, and I feel like that's why I learned from every budgeter out there, because there's no one out there that has the same budget, you know, things that I have. And just like my budget channel doesn't address everybody else's budget, but you learn from every budgeter out there, and I think that's what's so great about this community. What is one item you always splurge on no matter what? I will tell you, it is planning supplies. It used to be scrapbooking supplies. That was my weakness. Then it became planning supplies. So it's definitely planning supplies, particularly memory planning. So this is my memory planner. This is the Erin Condren 7x9 vertical. This is a cover that I got from the Coffee Monster Co. group. And this is what I do every day. I put in an emoji for each day. I do a weekly spread. I add pictures. So every week has a kit. So if you multiply that by 26 weeks in a year, you can tell that it's going to be a little bit pricier. I don't mind. I love this project. I love that I can go back and flip through and see what's happening, or what happened. I track a lot of things in here, like the day that we, you know, put my mom in her place, the day that we, you know, bought the car, so when my daughter got a dog. So I have record of when those days were, which I probably wouldn't have if I wasn't so in love with memory planning. Hold on one moment. Okay. So number 5, if you have a partner, are you on the same page with your budgeting goals? So this is a picture of my husband and I when we were getting ready. We were at the airport in Phoenix getting ready to go to Hawaii. I I'm going to say yes and no to this. So my husband is a saver. He's always been a cash spender. He pays off his credit card every week. He, you know, literally does not understand debt or why you would spend more than you have. You know, so when we very first started dating, we had separate accounts, of course. When we got married, we kept separate accounts, and then we would both contribute to household bills. And then one day we sat down and we thought, you know, this probably isn't the best way to use our money. We had consumer debt. We pretty much had every kind of debt, you know, that there was to have. You know, I had student loans. I went back as an adult and went to school, got my degree. While my company did pay me back, it wasn't 100% payback. So anyways, long story short, we finally decided to get on the same page, pay off our debt, and work towards our goals together versus each one of us kind of, you know, working on our own things. So we've been doing that really since 2009, where we really went hardcore into Dave Ramsey. And we were never gazelle intense because we always had, you know, enough slush that we could still take a vacation. We, you know, maybe did a pulled back vacation than what we used to do. We would still go out to dinner, but we wouldn't have appetizers and drinks or desserts. We just have the meal. We just enjoy the environment or going out with friends. So I say we were conservative in how we jumped into budgeting. But at this point, now in February, we will be married 35 years. And we were together 5 years before that, so in a total of 40 years. I feel like we are completely on the same page. He is the first person, when I told him what was happening at my work and I was gonna take a job I didn't want, he was like, absolutely not. Like, you've worked hard, we've saved well, we've fully funded retirement, take a break, enjoy your life. And I really appreciate it, instead of panicking and saying, hey, you need to go back to work or whatever. So that was a yes or no question. If you were given $1,000 cash right now, how would you budget it and why? I would probably put it in the bank. I am getting ready to go off my severance package, and there's a huge amount of security or insecurity I feel right now with knowing that I am not going to have an income, which is why I'm debating going back to work or not. So I would put it in the bank to kind of just make me feel better about having that cushion there. But I think that's what I would do with it right now. If you have children, how do you handle talking about money with your kids? I actually do have two daughters. They are 26 and 29. And what I think has been really good about us starting our budgeting journey when they were still at home is that they saw us sacrifice and put them first. We cash flowed wedding, we cash flowed college educations, because we didn't want them to have debt when they came out of college. We didn't want them to make the budgeting mistakes that we made. So I have one daughter who is very generous with money. Money's not that important to her. She really is, she's not really that she's a spender. She's more of a giver with money. Like, as long as she has money to eat on and pay her rent and things like that, she's really pretty content. She does not like to borrow money from us. She, you know, has worked really hard to pay off her car, to not get into debt, but she doesn't really budget. She kind of just thinks about it, but she's already investing, already bought life insurance. So she kind of looks at money more as a security than, you know, that she wants to hold on to it. My other daughter is an amazing budgeter. She's a cash only spender. She's never had debt. She, you know, very organized with her money, has worked really hard with her husband to get him on the same page as her. And so, you know, I have one of each, and they both watched us go through, you know, being in debt and getting out of debt and the stress that that causes you. So, but we have always talked to them about money. How has budgeting changed your life? Budgeting has changed every aspect of my life. I sleep better at night. I don't stress out about it. When we very first started this program, it was really kind of a, you know, I would make all the minimum payments, but I never had anything extra to throw at it. And I would get an annual bonus, and instead of putting that towards debt, we would go do something with it. Or I would say, I deserve this new iPad, I deserve this. And then one day I just sat down and I added everything up, and I looked at interest rate, and I said, I don't deserve anything. I've already spent this money, and I'm spending it more than once because of the interest. So that's when I really got on a program. I started using my bonuses to pay down debt, and we've been debt free other than our mortgage since 2019, I think it was. And I will never go back to that. It's too stressful. What is your biggest financial goal of 2021? I had two goals. One was to buy a car because we've been sharing a car since November. And number two was to fund as many of my sinking funds as I could while I still had an income. And so I'm pretty much on track for that. I have October, November, and December to finish up some things. And so I feel really good about where we're going to start 2022. What is something that you struggle with when it comes to budgeting? I honestly think this is going to surprise a lot of people, but as much as I love to budget, and I do, I mean, if that could be my job, I'd be a happy person. If I could just do people's budgets for them, that would be amazing. But I also love to go to the casino and gamble. And my sister and I just spent 3 days in Vegas, and we had fun. And, you know, my husband will go out with us and gamble too. We always put a time limit and a dollar limit on it. And I have two rules for when we go to the casino. Number one is I go with the budget, and that's all I take. I don't take my debit card. I don't take anything else. I take my ID in case I win big, and I take the cash that I'm willing to lose. And it could be a half hour or it could be 3 hours. But that's kind of my mindset. The second thing is I keep a kind of a casino purse per se, and I keep money in there. So if I win, the money goes in there. If I lose, then I've got a budget up to that amount again. And our recent trip to the south of France, one of the nights we went to Monte Carlo, and my sister, dad, and I all went to the casino. And it was really interesting because, first of all, it was in euros versus dollars. And, you know, the machines were all the exact same that we have here in the States, but just a little different. Like some of the wording was different, but everything was in English as well as French. And we had a great time. And my sister won, I lost, but you know, at the end of the day, it was not any more money than I was prepared to lose. And it was like 3 hours of entertainment. So some people will go to dinner and spend $300-400. I'm not a big drinker, so to me, spending that money on alcohol or food is just not what I would do. I look at gambling as an entertainment. Now, I have to really control that because I think it's fun. And I can see where it would not become fun if I lost more money than I was comfortable losing. And that's why it's good that my sister or my dad or my husband always go with me, and we kind of just say, okay, it's time to go. Whoever's winning or losing, we put a time limit on it. So I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. People that know me well know that they will not be surprised. But I think in the budgeting community, it's not something that I really talk about because, quite frankly, it's really against my goals of budgeting and paying off debt and things like that. I'm under the philosophy that if you save for it, you can spend it. So however that looks like in your budget, whether you save up for an iPad or a vacation or anything like that, if you save for it and you plan for it, then you should go and enjoy it. And that's how I look at going to the casino. So those are the 10 questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to play along, the questions I'm going to put in the notes to this video, and I would love to see your comments on the video of anything that surprised you, or is it in line with what you feel like I am as far as my budgeting style, if you've watched my videos for a while. And I really appreciate D versus Debt putting me in on her tag. So take care, and I'll see you in my next video.
Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could